Hello. Um, I'll put it back onto Adrian. It's quite a nice day. Well, it's a very cold day, but sort of looks quite pretty. Um, yeah. Uh, I eventually got my parental order. Um, Adrian, myself, and my mother. We all went down to London by train, and then spent the night in the hotel. And the next day, we went down to the Royal Courts of Justice on the Strand, and then waited around for about 3/4 of an hour, and then met our solicitors, and then we met the barrister, and he was representing me, and then we went to a room next to the court for about an hour, and then eventually myself and the solicitors and the barrister called into court. Uh, it's a little bit unusual because I thought there'd be other parents with applying for parental orders, but this time that's just me. Um, so then the barrister answered a lot of questions from the judge, um, and like, so the judges were like, why I had named my son, given the middle name of this of the surrogate who, you reckon had extorted me a little bit, well, a fair bit, but yes, well, she answered the questions, and then what I wasn't looking forward to happened, which was that I was called to the dock, and I had to swear an oath on the Bible and answer quite a few questions from the judge herself. And like the questions like, did I think I was a good father, and did I know everything I was setting myself in for, and the reactions of my friends. Um, Questions like whether I thought the surrogate had looked after Adrian well, and why she wouldn't let me look after him, what she said. Um, uh, now, I did sort of, I was like fairly honest, well, as long as I could. I mean, he asked me like what I knew about the surrogate's background, and the concerns he seemed to have was like in my report. I said that Adrian didn't seem to miss any of his nannies or surrogate, like when they went back when there's a changeover, and I thought Adrian would miss them, but he never seemed to, and he was sort of a bit concerned about that. Uh, but anyway, eventually, um, questions ended, and he said he was going to agree to give me the parental order. And he said that when he started off his career as a barrister about 30 years ago, he never thought that he'd be making parental orders like that. Um, as a single men, he said that normally law moves at a glacial pace, where at the moment law on reproduction seems to be advancing quite quickly. Sort of contradicted a little bit what my sister said before, because she said like apparently there's going to be some sort of change in the surrogacy law. It's mooted, but government's not giving it any time, and there's been some pushback by um, some people, famous feminists and that lot. Uh, anyway, um, heard how much. I tried to sort of tot up how much it was costing, but so the judge said it, cost of the process was over 200 grand, and like I'd have given the surrogate, apart from outside the initial contract, was about 36 grand. But fair enough, quite a lot of that was for looking after him, for being a nanny to him, and yeah, I mean, I still think she gets 36 grand, but plus 10, 13 grand she had for bearing him. But you know, she's done. she did take all the sort of health risks, and she did the probably most valuable part, most difficult, important task. And sometimes I think, well, if she hadn't pushed for the money, then she wouldn't have got a cut. And I had to pay lawyers a heck of a lot of money. So anyway, that's the way I regard it. I'm still grateful to her for bearing Adrian and for looking after him. Yeah, so after that, my mother, she's an old lady. She couldn't face taking Adrian back on the train because he was quite a handful coming down. So got a taxi to take us back. It's about 70 miles or so, 70 or 80 miles. And yeah, hopefully that process will come to an end soon. We've just got to wait for the new birth certificate and pay off any final legal bills, and I think that's it as far as legal costs. So speak to you later. Bye.